Welcome back to Making It with Minklet. Today we're on page 83 of our 100-day journaling challenge, and I had already put this little strip of fabric when we did day 82, and there are some places that aren't exactly flat, so we're going to go ahead and put some glue under those to get started so that we're starting with a little bit flatter surface. So I am just going to pop some glue in. If it looks like it's sticking up too far, for what I think I'm going to lay out here, I think I need those, especially the ones up here, laying a little bit flatter. And I knew that was a possibility, that would be what happened. But that's okay. We can work with what we got. And on this one, I know it needs to be flatter, so we're going to press that down, get it nice and gooey so that it's going to stick. And the outside part doesn't matter quite as much. And I'm sorry, I'm sniffly. I was outside briefly yesterday. And it was hot, and there was still pollen blowing around, so duh. That was a no-brainer. Today it told me to keep myself inside for the air quality. It was going to be poor. So all I've done is take a bag of trash out. And I did that early this morning so I wouldn't have to do it in the heat of the day. Sometimes you just got to play it smart. So the quote that I've decided to use today is, "Love thrives when we unconditionally accept our differences." And I think in this day and age, that is a very good point to make. We have to be willing to put our best selves forward, and we need to respond in kind to one another. No matter what we are, who we are, what we believe, what our political stand is, what color we are. Those things should not matter. We are all human beings, and we are all worthy of being respectful of one another. And I think that's very important. I try to be respectful of people, and I hope that they'll return it in kind. So I've got a piece of pink ribbon, and I'm going to put it down after I glue this picture on. I went through the book that I found at the thrift store, my cheap books, and this one was out of a book of artist prints and photography. So I went through and I found some things that I thought were really, really cute. And this one just kind of sparked some joy, so I thought it might need to go in my journal. It's got, it looks like some kind of powder of some sort, and then it's got just some flowers, it's got some sand, and then it has this statue, this garden statue. Well, if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I love my garden. I love my flower garden. I like to get out there and work when it's not hot as Hades, and that's something that brings me a lot of joy. So I thought about, you can be a stick in the mud, or you can rejoice with people and celebrate their milestones, no matter what they are. People need encouraging. It's sad when all you hear is negative things all the time, and eventually you automatically assume the worst. And I would like to, I want to live in a world where people accept each other because they are different. They don't have to be just like me. Lord help them. It wouldn't be a choice for anybody to be just like me, but I want you to know that no matter where you come from, who you are, what you do with your life, your personal business is going to stay just that. It's none of my business. And I'll just go on and do what the Bible tells me to do, and that's love one another. And that means in spite of our differences, because if God made us all alike, we'd be in trouble. Because somewhere along the line, things that need to be done wouldn't get done because there's nobody designed to do those things. So we each have our place. We each have our place, but we can share those spots. We don't have to just be selfish and, just want your friends and not accept other people. You can't do it. It's just not a way to live. It gets very lonely limiting your options. If you just love everybody, then you always have people to talk to that it will enjoy your company and you will enjoy theirs. So that's kind of my thoughts for the day. And you don't even have to pay me a penny. Let's get that goo off there. Remember when we used the lace, we could use Fabri-Tac, but I've had just as good a luck with the glitter glue. I have never had anything to peel up because I do put enough that it should hold it down. Now let's see if I kind of want this to fan a little bit, so I'm gonna try to make it. I'll try to make like a little fan out of this part. Let me see how much I need. Okay, I need to cut this part away first. Let's do that first. Dissecting a blouse. Do you remember doing dissecting in life science? It comes to my mind when I say dissecting, or deconstructing, I guess would be a better word. Then it doesn't sound quite so gross. And it doesn't remind me of the day we had to slice open earthworms and then we went to lunch and it was spaghetti. I'll never forget that. That was awful. And it was right after the science class, and I remember going in there and looking at the spaghetti, and all I could think about was that dead worm that I'd split open. Ugh. And I wasn't a girly girl. I mean, I played with worms. I entertained myself with nature, so it wasn't like I hadn't been around the stuff. It's just that when you had to dissect it and lay it out on a meat tray and identify the different various parts inside, it just lost its. I didn't lose my lunch, but I sure didn't order spaghetti. I'll tell you that. That was a hot dog day. And I think I treated myself to some cherry pie, too, that day. So I wouldn't even think about the spaghetti and the worms. It's crazy what things come to your mind from your childhood. Well, I don't think it's meant for me to put that pen back in there. It's just not meant to happen right this moment. I think I'm about cross-eyed. Let's take glasses off and see if that helps a little bit. Well, my eyes have started, under my eyes, the color, that was looking like it was going to be black and blue forever. It never got very dark, and it is now almost as if they did not do anything at all to my eyes. They're not near as bruised as she prepared me for. So I'm grateful for that. And I've only got a couple more days and I get my stitches out. And the ones that are dissolvable are starting to disintegrate. And they're getting kind of itchy, which is okay because I have some cream I put on them. But I'll be glad to get the stitches out on Friday. And hopefully, I'll be able to kind of resume a regular routine and not be quite so confined to the house. Not that I don't like being in the house, but I'd like to get out and walk these mornings. I want to get out and walk before it gets hot, really hot. It would be helpful anyway. I know my thighs and my belly fat would be thankful. All right. Let me see if I can put this down without making a mess. And I'm going to need to trim that string for sure. I want to make sure it goes over the edge of that there. They did pretty good. I'm not going to be mad about that. Let's clip the string. What do you do with your clip strings? I have a container that was for, was that a freezer container, I think. Oh no, I don't know. I forget what come in this container, but I've got like a little thing on there that I can pull it with, and I put my strings in here, and when it gets filled up, I will use those strings in a project. Last time I had it full, I took tissue paper and Mod Podge, and I put wax paper under it, and then I went over the paper with the Mod Podge, and after that I let it dry and I pulled it up, and it made really neat stringy paper. But you have to kind of spread it out. You can't just put like one lump of triple, like embroidery thread. I separated them out, so when I do that, it'll take a little bit to get it ready to go. All right, that might need a little more glue. Of course it does. You know why? No, we can't walk today. I have an alarm set for 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's when my husband and I generally walk. But we can't walk today because there's a heat advisory. And when you have asthma, you don't go out when there's a heat advisory. So what we did last night is we waited until after we had our dinner. We watched some YouTube videos, and then we went out to walk around 7:30, and it was actually pretty nice out there. So I think we'll do the same thing again today. But I really like this. I'm wondering if I should I put something up here? I don't want to go too over the top. I don't know. No, I'm not. Because if I do that, I'm going to get more than I want on it, and it's going to take away from this part. So remember, love thrives when we unconditionally accept our differences. And that's our page 83 out of our 100 Days with ABC. And if you want to follow along, I've got the playlist. You can look in the description, and you can find the links to the other pages that are participating. So until next time, be well, my friends. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Thank you.